lovely people, welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to have an open and honest discussion about the things I find challenging or frustrating about living in China. One of my favorite quotes from Charles Darwin is, "It is not the most intelligent nor the most strongest that survives, but the one that is adaptable to change." Well, I have been able to live in China for 5 good years despite the challenges I am about to mention. In my previous videos, I mentioned the things I love about living in China. If you have not watched it, go and check it out. Please keep in mind that these are my personal experiences and personal opinions after living in China for over 5 good years. The first thing I find is so challenging living in China is about the weather. In case you do not know from my accent, I am from Ghana, and Ghana we have a very warm temperature. So coming to China for the first time, it was so challenging for me. My first day in China, I felt like I was kept in a deep freezer. Wearing heavy jackets is not something I was used to, and I'm still not that used to. I couldn't wait for summer to wear t-shirts. Guys, I couldn't believe China is more hotter than Ghana in summer. The feeling of 30 degrees in China is more hotter than 30 degrees in Ghana. After living 5 years in China, the cold weather is something I still find it challenging. My number 2 challenge is the Great Firewall. As an internet-based content creator in China, one of the biggest challenge is the Great Firewall of China. The internet in China is heavily regulated, leading to restricted access to several foreign websites and social media platforms. Before I can use foreign social media platforms like YouTube, WhatsApp, I need a VPN before I can access them. My third challenge of living in China is language barrier. When I first arrived in China, I could not speak Chinese language, and it was so challenging to do anything in China. Buying food, anything I needed, I had to depend on other people who could speak Chinese or my Google Translate, which mostly disappointed me. And without Google Translate, I also need a VPN before I can use that Google Translate. 大家好，我现在很开心可以说中文。After being able to manage to learn Chinese language, I couldn't believe I'll still be facing challenge with the ability to speak one of the most difficult languages in the world. Being able to speak Chinese language is also annoying and challenging sometimes. It is very annoying when Chinese people who meet you and think you cannot speak the language or understand the language, then they start to say, hey, black person, and they say some negative things about you. Meanwhile, you understand the language. Another annoying part of being able to speak Chinese language is anywhere you meet Chinese will love to ask you several questions about your family, your background. Do you have Chinese girlfriend? Why don't you have Chinese girlfriend? Get a Chinese girlfriend for yourself. I don't have problem with answering such questions since they want to know me, but the annoying part of that is I have to answer the same questions about 20 times in a day. I just don't understand why every Chinese always ask the same questions. You think they have been giving the questions to everyone to be asking that same question every day. The most annoying part of being a YouTuber in China is being criticized all the time that the videos I upload is for propaganda. When I make positive videos about China, most of my viewers always say I've been paid by President Xi to make these videos for propaganda. Another thing I find it challenging living in China as a student is going to school during weekends. In China, whenever there's public holidays, you have to make up that holiday classes during weekends. I feel like they should not give us any public holiday if we have to make up that class during weekends. So to me, indirectly, there's nothing like public holiday. Another thing I find is so challenging living in China is traveling. I know you are surprised I found traveling challenging in China. Yes, even though I love traveling. Traveling in China is sometimes very stressful. And during holidays, everybody wants to travel. And due to their population, the whole place is always overcrowded. And you have to always book tickets in advance, flight tickets, train tickets in advance. In fact, navigating through a crowded street, crowded tourist sites is very challenging sometimes. Another thing I find is so challenging living in China is homesickness. I know you can really relate to me if you are not in your own country currently. Comment in the comment section and let us know about how you are able to manage and deal with homesickness. Being far away from home sometimes is so challenging when you miss family members, you miss your loved ones. Another thing I really find it challenging living in China is smoking and spitting. Spitting everywhere by the Chinese is not only disgusting but unhygienic. Some Chinese do not even mind when you are eating with them. They just spit anyhow. As a pharmacy student, smoking is not only harmful to the active smokers but even to the passive smokers and the environment. Guys, the most annoying part is when you take a taxi in China and the driver is smoking in that car. Very, very annoying and challenging. These are some of the few things I find it challenging living in China. It's important to note that every country has pros and cons. Despite these challenges, China has a really long, beautiful history, nice culture, lovely people. I hope you find this video so informative. Remember, it is always important to approach every culture with respect and open-minded and appreciate the uniqueness each country or culture has to offer. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel for more exciting content.